More of your phone calls coming up, 877-3DP Show. Email address, dp@danpatrick.com. Our Twitter handle is @DP Show. Jay Skurski covers the Buffalo Bills for the Buffalo News, beat writer for the Bills. Jay, when did you get word that the owner was going to show up at the press conference?
That would have been the night before, so that would have been Tuesday evening. And the release was very generic, so we did not know whether Terry Pegula was going to take questions. That's something he has not done since 2019. So in many ways, this was kind of a monumental press conference in the sense of Terry Pegula answering questions from the media.
Okay, but when did you realize that this might go sideways?
Well, if you know the history with Terry Pegula and press conferences, you know that that the possibility is there. Public speaking is not his strong suit. I think there are a few different reasons that he does it very rarely. It was obviously the interrupting the question about Keon Coleman that it seemed to kind of get away from Terry Pegula. I think that was definitely the moment where he kind of stepped in it during the press conference. I'm sure if he could do it again, he would have taken that moment back. But yeah, that was certainly the moment where it was like, okay, this is getting a little hairy here.
But he wasn't even asked about Keon Coleman.
Yeah, no, he was not. No, the question was directed to Brandon Beane, and it was about the wide receiver room in general and support for Josh Allen. It was a very fair question. It was a topic really throughout the season here in Buffalo, and for the owner to interject himself in that way, I think really created a mess for his general manager to try and clean up.
But I'm trying to understand. He said that this was based on that game, the outcome in Denver. I don't know. Did he address Josh Allen's role in that game and how poor he performed?
He did not. No, I mean, the only mention of Josh Allen that he made was just how devastated he was in the locker room after the game. And if you watch Josh Allen's post-game press conference, you could see it. I agree with Pegula. It was easily the most emotional, most devastated that I have seen the quarterback during his time in Buffalo. And listen, they've had some heartbreaking playoff failures here with Josh Allen, but the difference in this one, I think, in many ways, and Josh Allen alluded to it, is that the quarterback feels like he cost his team the game because he did turn the ball over as much as he did. We're accustomed to Josh Allen playing terrific football in the playoffs, even if it doesn't result in a Bills win. Unfortunately, in this game for the Bills against the Broncos, Josh Allen did not do that.
I wondered, and I said this leading up to the game, if he was coaching for his job. Turns out that he was coaching for his job. Could he have kept his job without anything other than a Super Bowl appearance?
I am skeptical of that. I asked Terry Pegula that very question yesterday. Had they won and lost in the AFC Championship game or lost in the Super Bowl, would we still be sitting here today talking about Sean McDermott being fired? Pegula said he didn't want to speculate on that, but a non-answer in that situation to me almost reads affirmative. I do think that he was coaching for his job, and anything short of a Super Bowl this year was going to lead to a change.
Anybody talk to Coach McDermott?
I have, just through text. He was incredibly gracious, as you would imagine. I thought the statement that he put out was just pure class, which is kind of, if you've been around Sean and know Sean the way that I do, was to be expected. I think that what's really interesting here, Dan, is that I think a lot of people over the past few years and the playoff failures have sort of thought that, hey, maybe this is the route that the Bills need to go, that they need to change, make a change, that Sean McDermott has taken them as far as that he can. But when that change was actually made, the reaction amongst many of the fans has been overwhelming sadness and sort of, feeling for a guy who wanted nothing more than to bring a Super Bowl to Buffalo.
I think the fans probably may have been, I'm not going to say joyous, but if you had John Harbaugh available, Mike Tomlin's not going to coach, but who's coming in and who is that person who takes you to the next level? Because if you're walking in, I'm expecting that owner is expecting you to be the difference here.
There is an immense amount of pressure on whoever takes this job. The expectation is win a Super Bowl and win it in your first year. I did some research on that. There have been 7 coaches in league history who have reached the Super Bowl in their first season. 4 of them have won it. Falling anything short of that is going to be deemed a failure, and the question is going to be asked, well, why'd you move on from Sean McDermott in the first place if this new guy can't even get us, to the Super Bowl? So while the job obviously has its advantages, right? Coaching Josh Allen, one of the best players on the planet, makes it an attractive job. It's got a rabid fan base. It's moving into a new stadium next year. There are a lot of positives to this job, but the pressure that it comes with, I think, is unlike any job really in the NFL. The only maybe fair comparison is the Ravens opening.
Do you think the Bills are going to regret this?
It's a hard question to answer. If I had to answer today, just because of that pressure and what failure looks like for a new head coach, I think they very well could. I do want to point out that it can work out, right? We've seen changes like this have been made in the past, and maybe the best example is with Peyton Manning and the Broncos when John Elway replaced John Fox with Gary Kubiak. The first season they go on and they win it all. So it can work, but a lot of things have to go right. You have to nail the head coaching hire, and Brandon Beane has to do a better job building a roster around Josh Allen. I think that was when we talk about the fallout of McDermott being fired. A lot of people looking at this saying they fired the wrong guy because they don't think there was a championship caliber roster built around Josh Allen, and that falls to Brandon Beane.
Yeah, I thought they overachieved this year. And yes, I know the window of opportunity was there with the other quarterbacks, marquee quarterbacks who didn't make it this far. I don't know, does Josh Allen do an exit interview? Is he going to be available for the media?
Yeah, that was the first sign that maybe something was a little bit off. We did not hear from him on Sunday, the day after the season ended, for locker cleanout. We always have in the past. We were told at that time Josh Allen wanted a couple of days to sort of process the season. Knowing the emotion that he had Saturday night, I think we all respected that and understood it. I spoke with someone very close to Josh Allen last night. He expressed confidence in Terry Pegula and Brandon Beane moving forward. I do not expect that we will hear from Josh Allen in a press conference setting or in a public setting until the Bills hire a new head coach.
What is your question for Josh Allen?
What was your reaction to Sean McDermott being fired is the first question, because without hearing from Josh Allen and with the way that Terry Pegula answered the question about was your starting quarterback on board with this decision, basically sidestepping the question, I think it does invite some cloudiness, some mystery in terms of how Allen really felt about it. I think the relationship with McDermott and Allen had really strengthened in recent years, and it's the only head coach he's ever known in the NFL. And so, how is he taking this? Like I said, I spoke with someone very close to him who did tell me that he's not ready to speak publicly, but he is confident in Pegula and Beane moving forward. But I think we need to fully kind of explore that idea and that topic with him.
You bring up a tell, though, when he doesn't do what he's done before. Yes, it's emotional. I'm guessing he's been really emotional with all of these playoff losses, but it's almost as if I'm not going to speak to you because I know what's coming. I know that my coach is going to get fired. I don't want to be talking to you on Sunday knowing he's getting fired Monday.
I mean, you're not wrong in feeling that. I think there's certainly that sentiment is out there, and the evidence would suggest. I would say, though, Dan, that the reality was that this loss did hit harder. Just seeing how devastated he was in that locker room was unlike anything we've seen. And listen, we've lived through 13 seconds. We've lived through missed field goals. We've lived through, 4th and 1 being stopped in the AFC Championship game in Kansas City where it looked like you should have had a first down. I mean, he has been through it in the postseason.
Yeah.
But there may be a part of Josh Allen, whether he knew Sean McDermott was getting fired or not, there may be a part of him that had that realization that we have gone as far as we can go together as a quarterback and head coach, and it's not far enough.
Jay, great stuff. Thanks for joining us.
Appreciate you having me, Dan. Thank you.
Jay Skurski, he covers the Buffalo Bills for the Buffalo News. Yeah, the fact that Josh Allen didn't meet with the media when he normally does would have been a tip-off for me. At least it would have raised the awareness of he might know something. I'm going to guess Josh Allen would have known at some point over the weekend that Sean McDermott wasn't coming back.